Hello everyone, I feel like I owe you an actual video right now, and I was just watching a tutorial series called the Ingen tapes, so I feel like I'm gonna try and explain that. And yes, this music is gonna be the sort of default for videos like this. I might change it for other videos, and it's gonna change after the intro, so... To begin with, what are the Ingen tapes? Well, they take place in the universe of Jurassic Park, and the person showing us the tapes, their father died, and their father was a security officer at the park, and they received a box of tapes on their doorstep with a note saying to show them to the public. To begin with, you have the episode Dennis Todd. Now, in this episode, a voice states that the title character died in his security office at Warehouse 13 before we see the Ingen logo and then hear a tape removed from a cassette player. As for the appearance of Dennis himself, we can see that he was probably crushed underneath a rock slide of some sort, or the building caving in, probably because a dinosaur stepped on it, or maybe maybe it was just not structurally sound. Now, why do I think this is Dennis? Because if you zoom in on the bottom right corner of the image, maybe brighten it a little bit, then you'll be able to see what looks like his hand, or it could be something else, but you don't just talk about a dead body and randomly show a pile of dirt in the middle of the building, so it's probably him. Though there is also a dark spot on the wall, or it's probably a hole, or just a blood splatter, but maybe something broke in. As for the lore of this video, the guy who died, Dennis Todd, is the father of the guy who's uploading these tapes to YouTube, so that definitely has some lore importance to it, and I don't know what else to say, so next episode. So the next video is a tape to train park employees as to how to deal with a hostile encounter with a dinosaur. The instructions go as follows. Do not move no matter the distance, call for help on your radio, wait for help to arrive, and while waiting, do not move for any reason, wait and move when it is safe. We then get an image of a woman named Megan Diego. We then see text on screen that says it was her first and last day, she didn't see the presentation, and the person writing the text, quote, cannot get her screams out of their head. Now, what does this mean lore-wise? Well, I don't know if it means much necessarily, but, I mean, I guess we now have a character other than the dude uploading the videos and his dad, but I guess that new character is already dead, so doesn't really do much in terms of lore. I mean, the first few episodes don't really do much at all. On to the next episode. The next episode goes as such. We see a commercial for Jurassic Park, as in the park in universe, before we then see a tropical storm warning, and the warning tells people to stay away from enclosures. Okay, first off, why is Jurassic Park playing a commercial for their park inside of their park? That's kind of redundant, but moving on, we then see a report that says over 20,000 visitors were accounted for during the storm and subsequent blackout, but 17 were not accounted for. 12 of those 17 were found after the storm and subsequent blackout, but 2 of them were confirmed dead. The other ones that were not found or found dead probably going to have some lore relevance later on, but we don't know what happened to them yet. Also, Isla Nublar shut down, which is an island that houses a part of the park on it. As for the people who died, they were Clyde Jones and Amber Jones, and they were able to recover a compact camera and 1 photo on it. I want to point out this photo is very scary, and it's probably the most horrifying part of the series so far, but I'm going to put a vine boom over it to see if that softens the blow. Okay, 1, 2, 3, Velociraptor. Ha ha ha, funny moai sound. Anyways, this guy actually appears later on, so for the meantime, I'm going to call him Dennis. So that should be the end of the video. Also, I should probably point out that at the end of every video, there's the sound of a VHS tape being removed from a cassette player, so that's really not important, but I don't know. This episode starts with yet another commercial, this time being a McDonald's commercial that I'm assuming might have been a real thing, but I don't know, I didn't do research on it. Before we see yet another Ingen logo. We are then explained as to what the relocation project is. The relocation project is meant to move hostile assets to Site B, which is a site not open to the public. I don't know why. And there's 4 assets that they want to move there. And I should also point out that the next few minutes are just gonna be grainy photos of I don't know what. I don't know how the creator did like the practical effects for this, but I don't know. Anyway, in terms of the assets they want to import are Asset 23, which seems to be a Tyrannosaurus Rex or Gigantosaurus because of the general like head shape and camera angle. It implies that it's huge. Asset 41, which seems to probably be a Spinosaurus because it seems to be on 4 legs and it also has a pretty long head. Asset 12, which we can either not see at all, or we can see the head of it poking out of the enclosure. Yes, this photos are so grainy that those two can sort of look the same, but if it is the case where it's sticking its head in between the bars of the cage, and it's probably a Velociraptor. And Asset 87, which while it has no photo, I'm pretty sure we later learn it's a type of Spinosaurus that is in the next episode. Spoilers, but I don't know. We then finally see a series of text that at first says, "They lie and lie and lie, a kingdom built of lies. They brought back the dead and something else." And with the "and something else" in the background, you can kind of see what looks like cells or like bacteria. So it's a disease, probably a diseased dinosaur that they brought. Okay, the next episode starts with saying that many assets have been infected with a strange disease that has caused the deaths of over 50 assets. And by the way, assets means dinosaurs. I should probably mention that. So the first asset to show symptoms was the Spinosaurus, which we didn't get to see the photo of in the 4th episode. And he's presumably dead by now. Sad. So the symptoms for this dinosaur infection are apparently bloodshot eyes, not eating, coughing up blood, and increased aggression. We also see a picture of Dennis in the corner. That's nice. He's probably infected. And the reason that they're carrying out precautions for the employees, I forgot to say they're making the employees stay away from dinosaurs with those symptoms, but the reasons that they're making the employees stay away from them is because the infection can probably mutate, and they're worried it's gonna become a human disease. And they did name it the DX virus, but I'm just gonna call it COVID-19 because it's really, really similar to that. We then see a series of images of 3 people, and they're all accompanied by a voice telling us something about the way they died. First is Dennis Todd, and the voice either says he was the first or he was the worst. Probably he was the first. Then it shows a woman named Ashley Chambers, who the voice says she didn't fear the pain or she didn't feel the pain. Probably she didn't feel the pain. Finally, we see another woman named Janet Smith, and the voice says she tried to run. The episode ends on a text string saying, "Dennis, the human Dennis, didn't die to an asset. I should have seen the signs. Now he's gone." Now, in the lore, this probably means that the human Dennis died to the infection, but it also is a note that this tape was apparently dated 1993, and the tape just titled Dennis Todd is dated 1994. This implies that Dennis died probably in 1993. That doesn't really have much lore importance, but I don't know. Also, my theory about Dennis dying to a dinosaur stepping on him is no longer true, because it literally just said he didn't die to an asset, so... Okay, my editing stamina is completely and utterly gone at this point, so I'm probably going to make a part 2 of this video once the creator uploads more, and also in that part 2 I'm going to clear up some stuff that I didn't mention here. Also, I should point out that naming the raptor Dennis and the guy Dennis, I mean I shouldn't really name the guy, but the guy was just named Dennis, but I didn't realize that until the very end, so I'm mentioning it right here. The reason I named the raptor Dennis is because I was watching a Let's Game It Out video, and there was a character in that video who was named Dennis, but he pronounced it Denny's. I don't know why I didn't call the rapper Denny's, but I don't know. Have a good day.